Hello, friends.
Hello.
Welcome
Hello.
to March 24-hour sprints. I have friends with me today. We're going to read. We're going to not read. We're going to do whatever we do. Who knows, really? So, hello, I'm Neva. And
Hello.
this is 24 hour sprint. So if you're new here, this is the most chaotic thing that we do on my channel. So I can't actually tell you how this is going to go. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So we start here, and every 4 hours we'll jump to the next person. There is a playlist. Christina linked it right here if you want it. Otherwise, it is on my community tab. I have it linked on my Instagram stories. Lots of places to find it. If you follow the playlist, then it will take you through each of the live streams, so you don't have to leave and find the next one. So that's probably the easiest way to do it. I'm reading Quicksilver, which Brianna is very happy about. At least I'm going to read it for right now. Margaret, how mad are you going to be if I finish the last hour and a half of House of Bane and Blood I have?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we want to sit down and finish it, I'm down. April is going to be me finishing all of the books I started this year and haven't finished yet. So it's going to get finished. If it gets finished sooner rather than later, it is not a big deal. I just have to get.
We can wait till April.
Okay.
Because I know you're reading it with your eyes, right?
No, I am listening to it.
Okay, so I can wait till April. I just didn't know if we had a definitive time we were finishing it.
I don't know. We just been kind of vibing with this one.
That's true. Right? We've just been
I
actually forgot it was even still that it was even a book I still needed to finish until I opened up my story graph and it's sitting at the bottom. And I was like, oh, how much of this do I have left? And then I looked at the audiobook and it said I had an hour and something. And I was like, oh.
Listen, we can chat about when we want to finish that because I can't start Painted Devils until sprints. So I will need something to distract me for that first bit of April.
Okay, well then let's start it at the beginning, or let's finish it at the beginning of April-ish.
Be a good April Fool's finish, especially since I'll be driving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what we'll do.
7 fucking hours.
I'm going to be working on Quicksilver. This is my 4th book for my current episode of KU Cleanout that I'm working on, and I do have the audio for this. So far, I've read 1 chapter. Okay, so do I know anything? No, but also I'm intrigued.
Nice.
Whatever.
That's good.
So you got to read that one.
I know this is it's supposed to be spicy. Brianna loved it. Brittany liked it. I think Rainey might have liked it. I don't know. A lot of the romantic-y girlies like this book, so let's pray that I like it too, because otherwise I'd spent $20 on a book that I don't like, and that would be sad. So that's what we have for that. Amy, what are you doing reading?
Well, I'm mad because I lost my book. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. It's not at school. It's not at home. It's not in my car. I think I might have left it at my aunt's house. So I got to text her and find out if it's there. But I'm going to be reading on my phone. I'm going to read Now That We Don't Talk by Melissa Baldwin. I have an arc for it and it comes out next week. So that's what I'm going to read instead of what I want to read.
That sounds Taylor Swift themed.
It's a hockey romance. But it does, yeah. I don't know that it is, but Melissa Baldwin is a Taylor Swift fan. So.
It's a fantastic title.
Yeah.
So.
I like. So I'm excited to read it. It's connected to a bunch of her other books that I like, and yeah, have a little rom-com going on. So. So that's my plan.
Awesome. Margaret, what about you?
I am going to be, for at least for this bit, I'm going to be listening to Painted Devils until it's finished because it needs to be finished by Sunday. While I make dinner and then pack orders because I got pretty bookmarks in.
Yes.
Neva has seen the bookmarks. They're so cool. I love them.
They're so cool, honestly. All right, let's go through. We'll read some comments. Hello, Jess, who's ready to goof off and maybe read some books. That's what we do. Also, 24-hour sprints are more chatty, which is why I don't put reading and productivity in the title. For 24-hour sprints, we just call them 24-hour sprints because we are sprinting and we are live for that time. We will do some reading, but it just may not be as much as what you're used to with sprints because we have
start with such good intentions.
We do. The first couple, the first 8 hours, we are usually pretty productive with sprinting. By 2:00 in the morning, it's not happening anymore. So it just is what it is. You're just here and along for the ride. That's what 24-hour sprints is.
We just don't make any promises.
But always feel free to, read while we chat if you want. That's totally fine. I'm not going to know what you're doing. I can't see you on the other side of the camera. Honestly, like Margaret, you can see she's not knitting, crocheting.
Yeah, I'm crocheting. I'm behind.
Other people may be, coloring, diamond painting, whatever, while, we're in a chatty bit. It's totally fine.
Speaking of,
it's chill. It's a time to hang out. Hello, Glenda. Happy 24-hour sprints. Hello, Zethra. Hello, Christina.
Christina, I have it right here. Fuck my laundry.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard the children fighting with each other. They are uncle and niece, if anyone's wondering, but they act like brother and sister. So
oh, is it bad that I just realized that there's laundry that's been sitting in my washer for the entire day, which means I'm gonna have to rewash it because Florida.
Yeah, you definitely will. It's fine. It's okay. It needed a double wash. Yes, but Christina with all the reminders, which is how Margaret remembers she had laundry. Hello, Kendra. Let me. Hello. Hoping to read, but have some things to do first. That's fair. Hello, Sabrina. We'll be starting Rebel Witch tonight. Ooh. I still need to read. What is that? Heartless Hunter?
Yes.
Crimson.
I liked it.
Depending on where you live, I guess. Because here's the thing. This happens to me. I think it's because I'm not bragging, okay? But I think it's because as content creators, we read so many books in a year, right? And we just are constantly reading books. I started this audiobook last year, but I couldn't tell you if I finished it. And this happens to me every year. There's at least 2 or 3 books where I'm like, oh, I know I read this book at some point, but I could tell you nothing about it. So then I end up rereading it at some point when I'm like,
how did it end?
Yeah, when I'm more ready to read it. No Exit by who is that by? Taylor
Adams.
Brittany and I were just talking about this the other day, and we were talking about how we should buddy read it. And I was like, no, I've read that book. I read it in 2023. I think the first year of Amazing Readathon, I read it. And I was like, but it's fine. We can reread it because I don't remember anything about it. It was like a fever dream. It was like I read the book and I know I read it, but I don't know anything. It's fine.
Hey, there's an entire book that Goodreads says I have read that I have no memory of.
Yeah, Fireborn is another one. It says on Storygraph that I read that during Amazing Readathon.
Yeah, that's for a lot of the Amazing Readathon books, though. I know that we've talked about this before.
I don't remember reading the book. I picked it up on my Kindle and I started reading it because I was like, maybe something will it'll jog my memory, and nothing. I know nothing. I feel like Amazing Readathon for me is a black hole.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, when we read as like I just have always been like this. Like I don't really remember books after I finish them. I remember how I felt reading them, and
Yes.
that's like
Right. And see, at least if
I rate on vibes.
At least if I remember how I felt when I read the book, then I know that I've read it. But some of these books, I'm like, oh, I read, like I remember reading it, but I don't remember how I felt about it. So now I need to reread it because I don't remember anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello, Lexi, listening to Skeleton Crew by Stephen King, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fun. We love Stephen King. Hello, Kendra, reading Painted Devils. I'm 48% in. Have I read Painted Devils? No, I have not.
Speaking of
I've read
Stephen King. I got something to say about that. Just you carry on.
I've read Little Thieves 3 times.
Neva.
Well, the intention of moving on, but then I just never moved on. It's just like with Legendborn. It's like with Legendborn. I have read the first book like 4 times, and I've not moved on. And the 3rd book just came out. I can see it sitting on my shelf.
It is You have Holy Terrors already?
No, of Legendborn.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what? I told you, and then sent it to you.
Is that like Oathbound or?
Oathbound, yeah. This is the 3rd one.
Neva, here, listen.
I wish I had Holy Terrors. Maybe it would motivate me.
It is less than a 15-hour audiobook on 2 times speed. You could have this book finished by the end of 24-hour sprints. You could definitely have it finished in time for the discussion that we're going to be having on Sunday. So,
and
say it.
And I have it on my Kindle.
Sorry, Brianna.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Here's how I'm gonna compromise, because I do have Quicksilver as an audiobook, so I could listen to this when I'm ready for an audio. But I don't have Painted Devils
as audio. It's on Hoopla. Tis on Hoopla.
Okay, we're gonna look in the first sprint. Do I mean, at this point, I've thrown out my entire March TBR. I read 2 books on the March TBR, and that was it. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's a wash.
I have started a lot of books on the March TBR, but I have not finished them.
That's what I did too. I started like 6 of them and just finished none. So it's fine. Whatever.
Well, the book that I can't find is the book that will fulfill all of my prompts in my role of reading prompt, and I can't find it. So I can't find it. I can't finish it. And that's really aggravating.
Wow. That's just rude.
It is so rude.
Hello, Millie. Just started They Were Her Property. Wonderful. Christina says hello to Amy and Margaret. Hello, Julie. We will see Julie. Even if not now, we will see Julie at some point. She is on the 7 a.m. shift because she is an actual warrior, to be honest.
Listen, can I do a 7 a.m. shift? I can.
You have before.
Be good?
You have before, and you and I both looked like we'd come through a war, and we needed caffeine, so it's fine.
I mean, it's a good thing that I didn't, because I scheduled an appointment for 11 a.m. So, like, I would have had to, like, it could have been a shit show, but it wasn't.
Hello, Ro. Christina is reading Caraval today. This is another series that I own the entire thing on my Kindle and have not read it. Sir.
That's skills, bro. That's skills.
Oh,
no, it isn't.
My gosh.
Just hurting yourself. That's what it is.
Thank you.
Ew.
Thank you, brother.
Now?
Did Gwydion get some?
Yeah.
Okay. And chips?
Yep.
Okay. My brother brought me my dinner in a balancing act. I don't know if anyone saw him when he walked in here, but he had like the chips in the bag in his mouth. Like a dog. He has 3 bowls and a Dr. Pepper in his 2 hands, walking up the stairs. He's lucky he didn't hurt himself.
Skills.
Good job.
Hello. Look who's here at the beginning of sprints. We love to see it. I'll be switching between All the Light We Cannot See and Pretty, a memoir by K.B. Brookins. Wonderful. I've heard of All the Light We Cannot See. I actually was going to read this a few years ago, and then Brittany told me not to.
Oh yeah.
I
Don't
wanted
you-
to be.
I thought you didn't like historical fiction.
I don't. That's why Brittany told me not to. Here's the thing. At one time in like 2022, when I first met Brittany, she was a historical fiction girly when I met her. And I was like, oh, I want to be a historical fiction girly. And she was like, you're not a historical fiction person. Because I'm not. I really do not enjoy historical fiction. I just do not care about it. And my exception to this is going to be Kristen Hanna. I am going to try some Kristen Hanna this year.
Listen, again, I feel like historical fiction is one where there are maybe not as wide range as like fantasy and like mystery and romance, where like those all have like fantasy, mystery, romance. I guarantee you there is a subgenre that will appeal to people who don't like the main genre, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Historical fiction, I feel, is one of those that can bridge that gap, but it does like it's a little more difficult. Like it's less broad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
But I do think that like there could be historical fiction out there that you would like.
I mean, I read, you know how Amazon does like the little like 5 sets of short stories. Like they did like the Christmas one, the Valentine's Day one. They did one that was historical fiction, and I liked some of those. Okay, but they were all short stories. Like they were an hour long.
I feel like the key for historical fiction is to start with a time period that fascinates you already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I read a lot of like, I'm always down for like Regency, Victorian, Tudor era. Read a lot like that was set in the U.S., especially like when they in the Old West, because I read a lot of Christian fiction, and they liked stories about manifest destiny. So,
hello, Diva. Yeah, I also think back when
you probably know who Lori Wick is.
Yeah,
I made comments about her.
Here's the thing. I think also that my historical the problem for me with historical fiction is that I assume that all of it is Christian fiction.
Yeah.
And I went through a period in my life, Christianity trauma, where all I read was like the
Amish.
Yeah, like all the Amish.
Beverly Lewis.
Like, yes, like, because
yes.
my mom would all those, and she would let us read them because she was like, oh, this is like clean romance or whatever, which is so gross, like, to even call it that. But like, because like, what, you know what I mean? Romance, don't call it clean romance, but like, and so now, like, in my head, it's just all like Amish Christian romance, and like, that's not true. But that's just in my brain.
A lot of Amish romance is actually set in the present, or at least it was when I was reading it.
It is, but I think it just like feels historical.
But it feels historical.
Yeah.
Listening to Wild by Cheryl Strait. I have about 3 hours left, and then I'm not sure what I'm reading. Well, let us know if we can help you. Hello, Precious. It's been a minute. We miss you on this channel. You all better read. Those of us who are teachers will be checking your work at the end of each timer. We will read. Eventually.
How much do I need to read rope to get an A+?
Right. That's what I need to know.
I honestly only need to know what I need to get a C.
I'm taking
on my middle schooler's persona for a second here. What do I need to not fail?
I definitely had classes that I was like that in college, but I also was very like there were so many things where it just like I was like, yeah, I'll study. Like I don't have to study. I'll get a B anyways.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll remember enough to get a B. It's fine.
Sarah's reading an arc of the plot twist. It's good, but not what I'm in the mood for. I feel that. Christina is working on her blanket during chatty bits, and her son and her are working on diamond paintings with Donna on her diamond painting sprints.
Nice.
I am the Lulu. Being the Lulu is the Solulu. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine. Jess finished a book on Wednesday and completely forgot by today that she read it and enjoyed it. There's just so much other stuff going on. I feel that. This is why I needed to reread The Little Thieves. Nothing stuck when I read it during The Amazing Race. This is why I read it 3 times, because the first time I was like, I remember nothing. And then the second time I was like, oh, wow, I love this book. And here's the thing. The first time I read it, I gave it 5 stars. Like at the time, if I'd been reading it and I did the 6-star system, it would have got 6 stars. So I read it again to make sure that it was actually a 5-star book, which it was. I gave it 6 stars the second time. And then I don't really know why I read it. Oh, I read it the third time because I knew that Leandra and Margaret were doing the read along. So I was like, oh, I should reread it. I didn't need to reread it. I could have just read Pain and Devil.
Well, it's funny because I remember, like, every time I feel like when I reread a book, there are things that stick with me each time I read it, and there are things that I forget, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm rereading, this is my 4th time, it was my 4th time rereading Little Thieves, and there was still stuff I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that, like, I fully forgot about Ermgard. I forgot she existed. So, like, I fully forget stuff. Painted Devils is wild because I've only read it once, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that this happens.
I have no idea what this is in reference to, but that's okay. I don't remember what this would be in reference to, but it's fine. I probably did something funny or ridiculous. Guarded King by L.M. I'm not even gonna try to say that. I'm so sorry. Which is the final book in the Place romance series. Okay, so it's this book or it is Baking Me Crazy by Carla Sorensen. I think they both sound great.
I always vote for a pun.
I love.
Yeah, I know. I was like, the pun has to win.
Hello to the other Amy. A-Star reads Amy. She will be joining us later on during 24 Hours Friends as well, because she has a shift in the morning. Kind of leaning towards the latter. That's fair. That Friends was when Margaret had a vein pop out of her forehead and she died.
Wait, which one?
Oh, I think I think all of this is in reference to me saying that I read 3 times, but I haven't read Painted Devils, and you were like, Neva! You know, I got scolded like a child.
That was quite a reaction.
Like, listen. Listen, I have a Wicked Witch cat.
All I heard there was, listen, Linda, listen, Linda.
Listen, y'all know that I am a sucker for never finishing a series.
I'm really bad about finishing series.
Like, y'all know this about me.
I'm gonna finish this one though because of the way that the stupid freaking book ends.
Okay. Well, you never told me.
I'm
excited. My bad. I did read it.
Handing Margaret Owen a bookmark.
I'm excited.
Or handing her a therapy bill. I'm not sure which one she's getting for Painted Devils, but yeah.
Wait, what? All I heard was I had other people talking.
Oh, I said I am torn between, do I just hand Margaret Owen a bookmark? Because I'm considering bringing this with me when I go to her signing and just like giving her one because it feels very Vanya coded, or handing her a therapy bill with the way that book ended. Like, Holy Terrors is going to be rough in the best kind of way.
Maybe both. Maybe you just say, here's a bookmark, but also my therapy bill.
That's a good idea for a bookmark.
Right?
I'm going to do that.
I like that.
Do that.
Hello, Cherie. Going to finish. I was told there would be romance and working on an arc of Bones of the Crossroads.
Nice.
Hello. Reading Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World while there is floor chaos in my house.
Ooh, nothing. Yeah.
I think it was historical fiction. It depends on the time and place. Yeah.
Yeah. I know people who love historical fiction, but there are certain like time periods that they'll be like Jess. Jess is like, fuck World War II. I don't care about it. I believe it was Jess that's like that. I don't know that Jess loves historical fiction, but like there are people that are like that. They're like, you know what? There's enough World War II fiction. We focus on it way too much. I don't fucking care. Give me something more interesting. Because they don't find the time period, the politics, the history of it
sometimes
is
once
not as
you've
interesting.
read one, it feels like you've read all of them,
All
unless
of
they
them.
find like a super niche, which I think Kristen
Well,
Hanna is really
Mhm.
good at finding super niche moments in history that you don't have a whole lot of books about.
I feel like when you cover a historical fiction moment that has so much coverage, like World War II, like the Civil War, you really have to focus on like selling the characters and
Mhm.
giving people a new look into what was happening then. Like Ruta Sepetys, what was it? Salt to the Sea. The
Mhm.
fact that she did a disaster that was massive but is not talked about because it was a disaster that was evacuating the Polish
Yeah.
from Germany when the Russians came in. So, like, you really have to work on you building people's connection to the character because they already know the history, right?
Yeah. Well, like Kristen Harmel did, like one of like the winemaker's wife is how
Mhm.
like winemakers during World War II were part of the rebellion, and it's like, oh, that's not something I've read about before, and it was kind of fascinating, like
that is always fun.
Yeah.
But I also feel like some of those, like, give me a nonfiction on some of those, right?
Right.
But a lot, like, I like the authors that like I can read the fiction, and then they give me a list of like nonfiction that they used,
and you're like,
I can like
yes, and you go read all of this.
Which, like, middle grade historical fiction is like so good at like, here's all the resources I used. Read these books, which my students don't do, but I do. Like, I love it.
Lexi said,
more a resource for the parents and the kids, right? I feel like that's more a resource for the parents than the kids, because the parents, if their child is really interested in it, can be like, all right, we're going to learn more about this.
Not all, yes, sometimes, but not always. Yeah. Sometimes it is geared toward the kids, but yeah. Nice. True.
Wait. There's Amish smut, Lexi?
So, not really, but like, you know how they do, where they like allude to the fact that they're.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I would call what is in Christian fiction smut on any level.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it smut, but it's definitely like that romance that like your grandma or your mom is like, oh, it's okay for you to read this.
Yep. I mean, the Amish apparently do get a little wild when they be courting. Listen, they let them teenagers spend time alone upstairs in some of the Amish communities.
Listen, what else did we expect, really? I'll be here till 11 or 12, and we'll be back when I wake up. Totally fine. Lexi said she had to get all A's on her midterms because if you did, you didn't have to take a final at her university.
Nice. I was an A student in all of like my theater and my literature classes. I want to say right up until the end when I like stopped caring, because I was like, oh, I'm not actually planning on using this degree really, so whatever.
Yeah. Hello, Steph. You could make a bookmark out of the therapy bill.
Yep, that's what we're gonna do.
Taylor Jenkins Reid is historical fiction feeling. I would agree. She does use some historical things in her books.
Yeah. I mean, they're set at different times, so yeah.
Hello to Chris. I've been down in homeschooling on the low energy days, but I am here, and plus I am not getting notifications again. Okay, so make sure that your notification bell and stuff like that is on. But I know that YouTube just be acting the most sometimes.
I mean, I get notifications. I'm bad. I don't like getting notifications for like anything unless you are directly talking to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So quite often, like, my notifications are off for everything. But I also regularly go into like my sub feed to watch stuff.
Listen, my YouTube likes to send me notifications for my own live streams, okay? So
it does, yep.
Yeah, and I'm like,
videos.
just send me notifications or send other people notifications for my stuff as much as you send me notifications for
Right.
mine.
Like, wow, YouTube. I didn't realize I was live as I'm talking to people on my channel.
Exactly.
Here's a video you might like. I do like it. I made it. Thanks.
I made that video 1 week ago. Thank you so much.
It's like, no, YouTube, it's other people I need to like the video.
Right.
You're preaching to the choir, man.
I need other people to see the video that I spent hours.
My likes don't count for shit.
I have considered sometimes like liking my own video because you can't see who liked what videos.
Right. So you
But
could.
like, what's one like going to do, bruh?
Okay, we are at the bottom of the comments and we have been talking for 30 minutes, which I mean is not the longest time that we've ever talked on 24 Hour Sprints. Do we want to do a little reading, friends? So I can go eat this dinner and people can actually, read. Yes,
Why can't you just do a 24-hour sprint?
we are.
No.
Like with no
No?
breaks?
Yeah.
Absolutely not, ma'am.
No.
What do you know, Ari?
An entire sprint, but 24 hours.
Like one sprint that lasts 24 hours?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Because then they could read and sleep and nap and stuff. And they would have more things that they need to do, and they can get everything done.
Yeah,
But then we wouldn't have the stop and chat times.
Yeah, we
that
wouldn't-
look so
When
cool.
would we stop and chat, Ari?
In the morning.
Every 24 hours? Absolutely not.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yes, got it.
Sure. Okay,
24-hour
so
sprint.
we're doing a 1 hour sprint and then we'll come back and we'll talk
Mom.
to our friends. What?
After this hour sprint, the next one, can it be like 5 hours?
No.
No.
That'd be another hour.
Each sprint will be 1 hour.
Everybody can do what they need to do.
Everybody
When-
does what they
Now
need
is
to
plenty
do.
of time to do what you need to do.
and then we come back and we talk for about
But what
like 30
But
minutes.
when you come back, what if they still need stuff to do?
Well, then they'll go do it
That's
in the
what-
next sprint.
That's what I'm saying. To give them an entire sprint.
They
That's
have an
less
entire sprint.
24 hours.
God,
Everyone loves me.
what's it like to be young and not need breaks?
I'm saying. Good God. Could you imagine somebody was like,
I
here?
wish I
you
could do that,
24
Ari. I think about an hour is the amount of time before I need to sit down and do something else.
That's
So
all
that's
I
actually
can
perfect.
That's my attention span. I was letting the kids out for recess today and I started yawning and a car drove past and started pointing at me like, I caught you yawning. And I was like, yep, you did.
Sucks to be me.
Yep, I don't have as much energy as they do. Crazy how that works.
All right, come start the time, Ari.
God, there's such
Okay,
a
so-
short window in life when you don't need a nap. You
I
know,
know, right?
What?
it's unfair.
Say,
Mhm.
we'll see you in 1 hour. Why are you grinning like that? It's creepy. Anyway, say we'll see you in 1 hour. Say it, bro. Or I'm gonna start it. Happy reading.
See you in an hour.
See you in an hour. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me okay? Beautiful.
Sorry, friends. Someone that I know was asking for dark romance recommendations, but I didn't realize that she doesn't like. She's like on the same level as me with dark romance, which is always fun because I feel like I love this, so I'm not complaining, but I feel like a lot of times people come to me asking for like beginner dark romance recommendations, so I don't get to give out like the truly depraved ones as much. So when people come to me asking for truly depraved dark romance, I get excited. But I didn't realize she didn't like Why Choose, so I was like, oh, you might want to skip this one that I just finished. I finished it last night actually because it was a Why Choose.
Nice.
It was like 3 hockey players, and then her stepbrother like gets involved at like 80%. It's a lot. It's a lot. I give it 5 stars. Okay. But here's the thing: is that it is like I thought it was interconnected standalones because that's what we get a lot, and it's not. So I'm glad that I picked this up in the right order because it leaves you on it's a cliffhanger at the end of book 1.
Oh.
Like it took everything. It took all of my willpower to not just pick up book 2 immediately. Okay, how did everyone do?
I cooked potatoes.
Ooh.
Good job. Proud of you.
And I read. Sorry, I'm still in the I make potato soup is for dinner tonight. I read 28 pages of Painted Devils. So.
How did you do, Amy?
I made supper, fish, and I watched reels on Facebook. And then looked at the clock and was like, oh, I didn't read at all. So that was my hour. I also thought really hard where my book could be. And I think I know. I think I stopped and visited my sister's cats yesterday. My sister's on vacation in Florida, all gallivanting out there. And I stopped to visit the nephew kitties. And I'm very almost 100% 80% certain that I had it there. And I don't think I had it when I left. So I think that might be it.
The saga of the lost book continues.
Yeah. So I'll probably go there tomorrow morning and see if I find it. And I'm telling myself that that's where it is so that I can actually read something else. I just am so absorbed with where this book is. And if I know where it is, but I can't read it, that's one thing. But when I didn't know where it was, I was just like, I need to find it. Yeah. Anyway. So.
I'm gonna be real transparent. I ate dinner. I did not read in that sprint, but that's just because I was eating dinner and parenting. You know what I'm saying? Also, I did finish a book yesterday, and I did read some this morning, before sprints, because I knew that even though yes, this is 24-hour sprints, I am not very good at changing my routine as far as when my body wants to read and when it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that if I didn't read at my normal time that I usually would in the day, that I just wouldn't get any reading done. So I did do reading before 24-hour sprints, knowing that 24-hour sprints now starts at a time when I'm usually watching TV. So some reading on my side will get done. It just might not be for the first 8 hours. It's fine. Are you laughing at me, Margaret? It's fine. Margaret laughs at me all the time. I think this had
I most certainly am.
I think this had to do with Ari and whatever the hell she was doing before that last sprint. I don't know what that was. That just is our house, okay? And Christina, I did tell her that you said hello in the sprint, so she has an evil grin, truly, but is very hilarious. She is, listen, Ari is the comic relief, honestly. Hello, Jean. 22% of Zodiac Academy 9. I will be getting to this series this year. Have I only read like the first 2 books? Yes. But this is one of the, listen, there's a lot of there are projects coming to my channel, and one of the projects involves Zodiac Academy. So, do you have something you want to say, Margaret? Okay. There's a lot of nodding and gesticulating that was happening, so I thought maybe you had something to say. Glenda saying hello. Hello, Jen. At the gym and reading an arc of a Golden Girls book I got. That's so fun. I love Golden Girls.
Is it the Golden Girls like mystery? I just pre-ordered a Golden Girls book. Like literally, I heard that it was Golden Girls and I just pre-ordered it, which I do not do. But I was like, yes. So
I mean, it's Golden Girls. How could you go wrong?
Yeah, right. I hope it's amazing because it better be.
Stephanie is listening to Butcher and Blackbird, the second half of it, before starting the next book in the series. So here's a little fun fact about me. Well, also kind of about Aoife. So Aoife and I were going to do, you know, what everyone else does, and we were going to do like the Goodreads Choice Awards last year, and then we didn't because we were like, none of the books that are in the category we wanted to read are like really good. I still need to read the third one or the second one, but I have the whole series. We're not going to talk about it. But here's the thing is, it's because the audiobook for the second one is not very good, in my opinion. Like, the narrators are fine, but there's a lot more, like, graphic audio-ness to it. And like there's like growling. The male main character, he like they say in the book, it says like blah blah blah, I growled, and then he actually growls in the audio, and I could not do it. Okay. But I am gonna get to this book because I do want to read it, because I really want to read the third one. But I loved Butcher and Blackbird. But I think Leather and Lark, because I tried to do the audiobook with Leather and Lark first, it like put me off. You know?
I do not have any desire. This is going to shock you. I don't have any desire to read Butcher and Blackbird.
I can't believe you wouldn't read this, Amy. Wow.
I know.
Really.
Who am I?
I'd be literally like, honestly, if Amy came to me one day and was like, Neva, I decided to read Butcher and Blackbird, I would be like, Amy, I'm going to need you to write this specific sentence on a piece of paper and hold it up and tell me that you're okay, because you've been body snatched. Absolutely not. Michelle is sprint hopping. I hope everyone's having a good day, evening. We love sprint hopping. Curious about the Golden Girls book. Are you enjoying it? Made it to you at 19% of Rebel Witch. Wonderful. Nice. 70% of Painted Devils, but my eyes are starting to get tired. Maybe I need to switch to audio only. Always a choice. I finished my book. The second sprint ended. I will be reading How to Get Over the End of the World in the next sprint. We love a finished book. Got to 43% in Skeleton Crew. Probably going to switch over to The Girl Who's Taken from KU. I have this as an arc. We're not going to talk about how old this arc is, but I do have it as an arc.
No judgment for me.
And I only know that I have this as an arc because there is a project coming to my channel that has to do with arcs. That's all I'm going to tell you. And this was a book that I had to put on the spinner wheel. So that's how I know, like, right now I'm very in tune with the backlist of arcs that I have, because I just spent like 2 hours putting them on a spinner wheel.
I love that. I should do something like that because I could definitely use it.
Amy, I'll get with you and let you know what my idea is for this, and if you want to also do it, we can do it together.
Yep.
And then we would both actually upload videos.
Yes.
Accountability happening on 24 hour sprints. Chris is 50% into Ministry of Time. Need to finish it by Tuesday. You got this. I believe in you. Christina got to chapter 15 and almost finished her corner. Wonderful. Should I finish my Dobby diamond painting that I've now been working on for 6 months? Probably. Will it happen during 24-hour sprints?
Seems like a good idea, to be honest.
I probably should do it, honestly. I probably should get up and go. Actually, I could bring the table over here, probably. This chair is probably low enough. Like, I can probably sit high enough in this chair that I can use my lap desk. Kendra got to chapter 19. Roe read 20 pages in Corruption of Hollis Brown. I like this gay ghost possession story. That's wonderful. Lexi said, me trying to find my Kindle today. I think this is in reference to your book. I knew I put it in my sweatshirt pocket after work, but then I went grocery shopping and it wasn't there, and I thought I forgot it at work, but I didn't.
Ugh. Man, that feeling's got us. Ugh. Gross.
Sharif finished. I was told there would be romance and gave it 4 stars. Wonderful.
Nice.
Got a copy of Witness 8 by Steve Kavanaugh, so I'm on page 19 of that. Katie, hello, friend.
Hello.
I tried reading the Golden Girls book arc, but it has some major typos, so I'm gonna have to wait for it to arrive. I have pre-ordered it.
Ooh.
But the thing is, here's the thing: I always give grace to arcs because they are not completed books,
right?
So they haven't gone through their last round of editing or anything like that. So
yeah,
because I've definitely had ones that are formatted terribly as arcs.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I get them as an actual book, I do go ahead and read them as the actual book, and the formatting is fine. Everything is fine with it.
Most arcs go out before line edits, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe they might go out, some go out earlier than that, because I've known people who've been like, listen, like there were developmental edits that happened during the time that this wasn't. So it depends on the book, obviously.
Yeah. Well, the
I believe line edits is the standard. Katie would probably be able to say better.
The first and only book I've ever been given the honor of beta reading was Self-Care Potato Chips. I beta read that book, and I had to read it on my iPad because of how she had it formatted, because she was doing it at first independently.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't even make it was a PDF file, so I couldn't like change the type or anything on it on the Kindle. So I ended up having to read it on my iPad.
I signed up to be a beta reader for something, and I'm so excited to find out if I get to do it or not.
Nice.
Michelle finished Roll With It, which is a middle grade by Jamie Sumner. Loved it.
Read that one.
Everyone's saying hello to Katie in the comments. Hello, Toya, at the end of Namesake. Monthly diamond painting sprints are over now, so I got that all put away, and we'll be working on the blanket for the rest of the night. Wonderful. Everyone's saying hello to each other in the comments. We love to see it. About 70% done with Butcher and Blackbird. Lovely. I try to give grace with arcs too also, but this one is really hard for me. Yeah, a lot of times what I will do is if it's really like an issue of like I can't read it because of typos or the formatting or whatever, I won't give it a lower star rating. Like I'll still give it like 4 stars. And just let them know that my issue with it was not the book, like the story. It was the fact that there was not editing done.
I usually like
that I am aware of the fact that probably the issues that I'm having will be rectified before it's published.
Right. Yeah.
I generally don't have a problem with formats except this one arc I got, and for some reason they didn't use any quotations for dialogue, and I couldn't do it.
That was probably like an actual choice. Like you don't.
Sally Rooney does that. That's why I won't read any of Sally Rooney's books, because she apparently that's a choice that she makes, is to not use quotation marks.
No.
It's also dependent on where you get published. Like I think if I remember correctly, Sally Rooney's are Europe, like somewhere over in Europe. It's
Here,
a lot more
okay.
common in European publishing.
But here's my problem with this is that I have read books where they use commas instead of quotations,
Mm-hmm.
or not commas, fucking apostrophes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they use and that is fine because it's still bracketing my thing. But from what I understand, Sally Rooney has made the choice to not put quotations around her around a dialogue. Like that's an actual choice that she as an author has made.
Yeah. I listened to Normal People. The audiobook at least was pretty good. So
I think I could do her books if I listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, that would be the only way I could do it.
But I wouldn't be able to read them because I do get a lot of thriller arcs that are from like the UK and Australia, and they tend to use apostrophes to bracket. They don't use quotation marks. And that's fine because it's still bracketed. It's not just like a wall of text.
I need to be able to know that somebody's actually talking. Or
Yeah.
I just...
Hello, welcome back. Got so absorbed in my fantasy, my middle grade fantasy in a good and bad way. I was even yelling at a character, no, don't do that. They did the thing anyways and put everyone in danger, as they would.
Which middle grade fantasy is that? I'm curious. Did they say? And
I don't think Rope told us what they're reading. Good evening, Sherry. I'm sure it was a choice, but for the love of everything, put quotations so I know the difference between speaking and internal monologue.
Exactly.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is I understand, like in European countries, they do tend to use, like I said, apostrophes to bracket, but at least they're still bracketed.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I just need my eyeballs to know that we're reading dialogue and not.
Yeah.
It's so nice when I get messages from people say they love my sprints. It's just so nice. I'll be finishing Britt Marie Was Here by Frederick Bachman tonight. Loving it so far. Wonderful. I need to read this book. Do I own it? Yes, I do. Was I supposed to read it in like 2023 with like Kelsey and Brittany? I think they read it. I never read it. It's fine. My goal is to eventually read all of Frederick Bachman's backlist because I really love Beartown, like that trilogy. Love it. I loved A Man Called Ove, Uva, whatever the hell it is.
Uva.
Y'all know which one I'm talking about. Love that book. I should revisit that. And I want to try Anxious People again. I tried it in 2021, but I don't think I was in the era of reading for me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I did DNF it. So I want to try it again. But I really do love a Frederick Bachman. Rope is reading Mistwick School of Music Craft.
I love that series so much. If you have Audible, it is on Audible, like it's in the Premium Plus catalog or whatever. And it is, you're so right. Like the audiobook is so essential to it because it's just like all of the spells are done through like composer songs. And oh man, it is delightful. The whole series is just, so good. But yeah.
I feel I should read this.
I feel like you should. I think you would like it.
Okay,
especially in audio.
Take a picture of this because audiobooks with music sounds delightful.
Yeah, it is quite delightful. And I lost my bead. And it is the end of that book rope. Like, I need to know if you get to the end of that book, because the end of that book had me just gobsmacked, which is not something that happens very often when I read middle grade fantasy.
Mhm.
I'm usually able to see some stuff come in, but that one
Nice. That's always fun though.
yeah,
When like you're able to get so lost in the story.
yeah, I was so in the story. Oh man, it was, and everything in it just comes around. Oh, so good, so good. Whole series.
Yeah, Uva is yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
Yes, Frederick Brockman does have a new book out.
Mhm.
I still need to read the new Grady Hendrix book. Is it Grady Hendrix that just came out with the book Witchcraft for Wayward Girls? Is that Grady Hendrix?
Yeah, that's Grady Hendrix.
Listen, I always get Grady and Riley Sager like they're interchangeable in my brain.
I mean, they're kind of interchangeable.
Period. So I'm always like, which one of them came out with a new book recently? It's fine. But I did get Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, and I actually am really intrigued by that one because it's like that one is historical, which some of Grady Hendrix stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is about like wayward girls, like pregnant teenagers.
Oh, okay.
You know, that are doing witchcraft.
Nice.
So I don't know. It just sounds super like interesting to me.
I mean, there.
So yeah. All right. Do we want to do another sprint, friends?
Yeah. I'm going to try to actually read this time.
Me too. I can't promise that it's going to happen. I'm updating my inventory and wildflowers currently. Okay. I have a whole spreadsheet for this game. We're not even going to talk about it. I might sell it, to be honest. Once I've like played through the game completely and I have everything, because I don't want to spoil anything for myself with the game.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go like look at cheats and stuff in order to find out like all of the things I would need for the spreadsheet. I'm kind of just filling it as I go.
Mm-hmm.
But then I might sell this spreadsheet for anybody who wants to play this game but doesn't want to make their own spreadsheet.
I mean, you could even just sell the blank spreadsheet, it sounds like, so people can categorize the stuff themselves.
Yeah, I thought about doing that too, where I would just take everything and just like take all of the things that we like that I have and put them on like put them in categories across like a single spreadsheet. Yeah. And then sell that, because then you could customize it however you want with it broken up and stuff like that. So okay, we're gonna do a 59 minutes and 55 seconds because I'm too lazy to like go in and adjust it so it's exactly an hour. But that's what we're gonna do.
It works.
Unless y'all have
Just
something
count to 5 before you actually start the timer. It's fine.
I mean, it'll take me 5
No, that's actually smart, Amy.
It'll literally take me 5 seconds to like.
No, it would mean more if you didn't sound so surprised.
It's okay. That is not surprise. That is exciting.
But yeah, it'll definitely take me at least 5 seconds to like have to click around to get us started anyways. So it'll basically be like an hour if you just start reading. You know what I'm saying? It'll be fine. Unless y'all have some, do y'all have anything else you want to say before we go?
Mm-hmm.
I act like we're leaving. All right. Then we'll see everybody in 1 hour. Hello, friends. How did we do? I'll go first. I
Please.
did not read, but I am watching Natalie from Weirdo video. So it's basically like reading, but not. She just uploaded like a mini rant review about Done and Dusted, which I have read. And I only gave it 3 stars or 3.5 stars. It's my least favorite in the entire series. And there's a scene in this book that is the reason I didn't really enjoy it very much. On top of the fact that the name for her is Sugar. And Natalie said that every time that she read it in this book, it was like a cross between. No, it was a cross between, like in her head, it was read as a cross between like Dr. Phil's voice and then like this song. Like this song. It's like Sugar. Yes, please. That song. And honestly, I can
That's horrifying.
I can relate, honestly. Like she said it, and I was like, exactly, that's Margaret.
Never mind, I thought that was Crystal.
No, Crystal probably isn't going to be on sprints for a little while.
What have I done with this?
Margaret, Ari has a question for you.
Ari can ask her question.
Is there a time where me and Mama can come visit you?
Well, she lives in Florida.
Yeah. That's where I was born!
If you can get to Florida, there is a time that you guys can come visit me. We will figure one out.
Okay, well, you have to be out of school first.
Dude, I miss my hometown. My real home is Florida. I was born in Florida with grandparents.
Yes, you were born in Florida, yes. You and your younger brother, or your brother right above you, Carson, you were both born in Florida.
Our hometowns. So both of our hometown is Florida.
Your home state, yeah.
You mean your hometown?
No, I mean your home state.
Florida
is a state.
I want to go to my hometown and go safe because I
miss
Florida.
If Margaret,
Dude, I miss Florida.
So listen, Margaret lives in your home state, which is Florida, but she does not live in your hometown. She lives in a different. She lives in your hometown.
Yeah,
is Daytona Beach.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm like.
But that's not. I'll tell you
there.
later where Margaret lives, but that's not where Margaret lives.
Can we go to
Margaret lives on the other side of the state.
But I'm sure that we could figure out a time to go visit Margaret.
Can we just fly a plane to Florida and then try and then walk and then knock on every single door inside her?
No, we would fly to Florida and then she'd probably meet us at the airport.
In a basement.
Yeah,
She might even give you the address.
She might even give us the address so we could just like take an Uber from the airport.
Mom,
oh, that's expensive.
Is it okay if, like, you know how last time when we went to the airport to go see Grandma Nancy?
Yeah.
If there's still vending machines there too, can I get a couple snacks from it?
That was the bus station.
Can we just ride a Greyhound bus?
To Florida? Absolutely not.
Mom!
Do you know how many days it takes to get to Florida from here?
I want food from the
You can do it in like 2 if you hate yourself.
29 hours. It's fine.
My brother used to make the drive from Neva's further than this, but from Indiana to Florida. He was a masochist.
Listen to me. I'm gonna be real. Y'all really think that I have the patience of a saint if you think I'm about to be on a bus with Ari for 30 hours? If it was just me, then fine. Like I could do it because like I'd have my Kindle, like I could sleep, whatever. Ari confined to a bus for 30 hours?
Ari, I don't think would want to be number one, wouldn't want to be confined to a bus, but would probably not want to be around you for 30 hours straight in a bus.
Oh, Ari wouldn't care about being around me. What it would be is she would drive me and everyone else nuts because she would be so like has so much cabin fever from not being able to like do more than like get out for 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Because she can do like a 4-hour plane ride, which is from here to Florida, is about 4 hours if you take like if you take like Allegiant or something, right? It's like 4 hours. So she can do that, but that's about the extent of what she's capable of doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's about the
Mhm.
extent of what I would want to do too. So I feel that.
I feel that. I feel that.
How did you do, Amy?
I read 2 chapters of Now That We Don't Talk, and there was a Taylor Swift reference in it.
We love that.
Say
And
what? I heard Taylor
there-
Swift as I went to grab my Swifty pins.
there was a Taylor Swift reference.
Amazing.
She mentioned all these dates that she went on, and she was like, but it's me, I'm the problem, it's me. And then as in the narration, and then she goes, well, except this one guy, I will not take credit for that one. Or so I don't know, it's funny, it's cute.
That's hilarious.
But I was like,
So
oh, I
guys-
have to tell Margaret this.
I have a very important question. I just got new pins today.
Nice.
When I am doing these, do I just pick a color and go with it, or do I do a different color for every envelope I'm having to do? I feel like different color for every envelope. That's the answer.
I feel
right?
like different color would be fun.
Okay, I feel like that. Yeah.
I mean, I
I
think different
think-
colors would be fun. Yes.
I think it should work because they're ballpoint pens. So we should be okay.
Okay, really quick, we're gonna read this and then we'll find out what Margaret did.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to update you guys on that. right, don't I?
Katie says hi to you and that she loves you. She said it right there.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, and I love you too.
Okay, now go work on your. Thank you.
Oop, get rid of the flashlight.
Okay, Margaret, how did you do?
I read 38 pages of Painted Devils, and I got dinner finished and eaten, and it was good. I had potato soup, and I had bought an extra bread bowl from Panera.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay, I did not star this. Well, that's unfortunate. So I don't remember where we left off. Hold on.
It's not done.
Okay, thank you.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
this is where we left off.
You found it? Okay.
Yeah.
I usually just look for whatever Christina's last.
Rope went to bed.
nothing
Gotta
there.
get up early. So I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Kendra got to chapter 22 and I had a late dinner. 11 p.m. and I think I'm turning into a pumpkin. That's fair. Made it to 41% of Rebel Witch. Reading a really short novella, 68 pages, and I'm already halfway through it. Good way to fool myself into thinking I'm making a bunch of progress. We love to see it.
I love it.
I do this sometimes, like when I feel like I haven't read enough for whatever reason, or like I feel like I'm just like stalling. I read like a bunch of really short books.
Yep.
Because then I'm like, oh, I read 15
Or
books. I read 15 books this month, and like half of them are 80 pages. Lexi got 12% in Girl Who's Taken and did a bit of diamond painting. Lexi said she took a bus from Ohio to Florida for a band trip in high school. Do not recommend.
Bro, I've driven from Florida to Ohio. I've driven from Florida to West Virginia. We once drove all the way out to Michigan, hit up Wisconsin, and then came back. There was a lot of corn that time.
You know, Wisconsin is beautiful.
It is. And then we got into the part that was only soy and corn, which I believe was Illinois and Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Got a row of gray squares attached to the blanket. Got chapter 22, day 4 of Caraval, and now my son wants to watch some Grays before bed. Oh, I was rewatching Grays today because sometimes I do that. And when I rewatch Grey's, I start from the very beginning, right? So listen, Grey's has been on now for like 20 years. So if you haven't watched, I'm not going to say anything that's like huge, but in episode 2, okay, the whole episode is about this woman who was attacked in the park. Okay. She was like essayed in the park. And she bites off her attacker's
Oh yeah, this episode.
area, right? And okay, so I remember this, but here's the thing with Grey's is that I remember things that happen in each episode, but I won't remember the order in which the episodes happen. Does that make sense?
That sounds about right.
Okay. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching episode 2 and I'm like, and I was like, oh, this is that episode, right? Because Meredith is like, oh, that's his, his penis.
She's carrying it around in a cooler.
Around a cooler, right? So the guy's finally, like, in the episode, like, towards the end, he finally stumbles, like, to the ER. And he's got, like, blood all over him and whatever, right? So they get him inside because he passes out before he gets inside. And they bring him in, and Meredith's like, just look. And Bailey, like, lifts up the sheet and, like, makes eye contact with Meredith.
Can I take a shower tonight?
Not tonight. You can tomorrow. Okay, you can tomorrow. Go. It's too late to take a shower tonight. If you want to shower tonight, you should have taken 1 hour ago. So she's like, call the police. Like, we have the rapist, right? So they're in there and they're doing the surgery and they're all having this like banter back and forth. And Christina makes a comment and is like, oh, he'll never have sex again. And Meredith's like, oh no. And Bailey, like, first of all, I love Bailey, like, as a character, but the fact that she says it so deadpan. She says, let's all have a moment of grief. Or let's all take a moment to grieve as she's like stitching this dude up, right? Because she'd asked them, like, oh, what do we need to do since we can't reattach it and all that stuff. And they're like telling her, and she's like, let's all have a moment to grieve. And like that's exactly how it said. And then that's like the end of the scene. And I was dying with laughter. Probably not as funny to other people if you like haven't actually seen it, but just know that I forget how much I love Grey's Anatomy until I rewatch it. But also, I'm never ready to rewatch the devastation that happens.
Yeah.
I
You know what I'm saying?
understand. Okay.
So there's that. But I do love Grey's. Hello, Jamie. My sister just left mini birthday pizza party, so now I can read for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Hello, Ash. It's just like a wrapper. Ash is reading God of Pain. I need to read this. I need to like continue that series. I read God of Malice. I gave it 3.5 stars. Here's the thing. I wanted it to be darker. It was fine. Like, I just wanted it to be darker. What that says about me, I don't know, but it's fine. A good portion of the Midwest is referred to as the Corn Belt. That's true. Where I live is, for sure. Got to page 49 in Witness 8. Love the looks on all the faces in the OR when Gray tells them what it is priceless. Oh, and like Burke's face when she says like, oh, it's his penis. He is so appalled. Like he drops it into the thing so quick. I was just like, I mean, it is what it is.
You think he didn't have one attached to him?
Way to take a bite out of crime. That's an actual thing that's said in that episode. Somebody, who is it that looks in the cooler? Somebody looks in the cooler because they're like, what is this? And she's like, a penis. Like because she says it to George and he's like, because she's like, do you really want to know? Because she's like, you don't want to know. He's like, I do want to know. And she's like, do you really want to know? And he's like, yeah. And so she tells him and then he's like, oh, I really didn't want to know. And then someone else looks into the cooler and is like, what a way to take a bite out of crime. And then closes it and walks away. That's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Definitely karma. Definitely karma.
Mm.
Here's the thing: is like there's not. I mean, Grey's Anatomy, like as a show, like it's a Shonda Rhimes show, right? So like you have to like find the comedy in her shows, like where you can. And I just feel like maybe I have like a dry sense of humor. I don't know, but I just
No, I like her.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
We are rewatching it too, but now where Penny is about to go somewhere. Got you. Yeah. I hadn't rewatched it in a while, so I just started it over because I couldn't remember where I had left off on my last rewatch.
Wait, Penny? Like involved in death, Penny?
Yeah, I give it. Okay, here's the thing, Ash, that I think that I don't talk about this like enough on my channel. When it comes to dark romance, I am not like people ask me for where to start it, like to read dark romance, because if you just ask me like, hey, do you have dark romance Rex? I have to ask you how dark you want to go. Because like God of Malice was fine, and I wouldn't give it to somebody as like a beginner's guide to dark romance. Like it wouldn't be in like that guide for me. It's definitely I don't know. I'd probably say it's like an intermediate book, because like yes, the main male character is morally black and he is a psychopath, but I just felt like he was darker in the beginning, and then he just lost some of his darkness as we went in, and I don't love that. So like if you're gonna give me a psychopath, like I need him to be that way the whole time, not just up until he gets the girl. You know what I'm saying? And like he can and here's the thing, I'm even okay with him like calming down when it comes to like after he gets the girl or whatever. If he's like, okay, I'm gonna be dark or an asshole to everyone but her. Fine.
Yeah, okay, I get you. I get
like,
you.
If you lose your darkness, if you lose a lot of your darkness just because you're now in this relationship with this girl, then like were you really dark to begin with?
I mean, doesn't that kind of imply that like the psychopathy was a choice, and isn't psychopathy inherently not a choice?
And I don't want the psychopathy to be a choice. Like I need this was my problem. Okay, other than the like political aspect of Haunting Adeline, if you take that out, the issue that I had with Haunting Adeline was that Zayd started as this dark, morally black character.
And can I ever do my own 24-hour sprints?
We'll see. Go work on the room, please. Thank you.
I want to do my own sprint.
Okay,
24-hour.
We'll talk about it later. Go.
Can we do it tomorrow?
No, we are not doing it tomorrow. Goodbye. I love you so much, but no, not tomorrow. Go work on your room, please. Go. Or you're going to bed. We'll talk about it later. Go. Thank you. Love you so much. Okay, he started as like this dark, morally black character, right? And he did a bunch of things that are disgusting that we won't talk about on here, but like he does a bunch of psychopath things, okay? Mm-hmm. But then he gets the girl and they start going out in public together, and all of a sudden like you're a simp. Which tells me that you only acted all weird and crazy because you thought that was the way to get the girl, and I just
That's not how Taylor Swift said to get the girl.
That's true, but Taylor Swift also didn't say to, you know.
See, I like it when you have some like granted, I don't read dark romance, so most of my stuff for this is stuff where this makes sense in the plot. But I really like it where you have like a Killian Jones type character where he starts out cinnamon roll, becomes dark for reasons, and then through his process of like trying to win, realizes that he wants to be a good person.
Okay,
like I love that journey.
That trope is also okay, but then we know but then we see that development.
Yeah.
If you say this is a dark romance and you introduce these characters to me as dark characters, okay, like for instance, I just read Break the Girl. That's the book that I finished yesterday, right? So this is a dark hockey romance. It's a why choose like hockey romance, okay? The three character, it's like bully romance too, but the three male, what am I trying to say? The three male main characters, Jesus Christ. Okay, they are very like morally gray, but like two different degrees. So like one, like depending on what's going on throughout the book, is sometimes one of them will act darker than the other two or whatever, right? They balance each other out, all that crap. But they are morally gray or morally dark throughout the entire book, even after they all figure out that they're like falling in love with the female main character.
Yeah.
The only thing that really changes is that once they find out some things that are going on about like, because the female main character breaks into their house, and then that's where like the bully aspect of this comes, because they are like, we own you now, whatever, because they like caught her breaking into their house. Once they figure out why she broke into their house, and there's like a lot of explanation around like her trauma and stuff, they do have remorse when it comes to her, but not when it comes to anything else that transpired. And that's fine, because like that just means that you have like human traits somewhere inside of you. And like now I'm like willing to believe a little bit more that you're capable of like loving someone. You know what I mean? But if you just go from like, oh, I'm this psychopath to like a complete simp, I'm like, what is happening?
Here's the thing. The way you do that is simp for her, psychopath to everyone else.
Right. But a lot of times the problem that I have is that they just become a simp. Like to the point where
Or simp in real life, psychopath in the sheets, right? Some
I
people
mean,
are...
that works too. Christina said yes, that Penny.
Okay. What? Okay. I haven't got... So the last season that I watched was the season, I believe, somewhere around when, is Bailey the first one that is of their... Like, the one that's after Zola is Bailey, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then that's where I got to. And then I stopped keeping up with it. And then I was gonna get caught back up, and then I found out what, that this Patrick Dempsey left, and I was like, well, I'm not interested anymore.
So I've watched all the way up to the COVID.
Yeah,
I stopped watching after they started like putting like real life like COVID crap in there, and then I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I get that.
And by then, like all of my favorite characters were pretty much dead anyway. So
This feels like it is a specific artwork.
Hooked by Emily McIntyre was your very first dark romance. So this was not my first dark romance, but this is where I would tell people to start. If what you want is an introduction to dark romance, I would start with like Emily McIntyre and her Never After series, just because they're stories that you already are familiar with. There's no magical element, which some people want like more of like a real life type of story, right? So there's the reimaginings of stories you already know. So like Hooked is a reimagining of Peter Pan. So but they're set in
magic.
Yes, because they're set in our world. It trust me when I say that it does work.
Okay.
Because really the only thing
that work on some level.
Yeah, because she sets it like in our world. So like Hooked, the Hook character is James, and he's an owner of a bar. Wendy is like I think 18 or 20, something like that, and then the Peter Pan character is her dad. But it does work with the way that the reimagining is put together. There's just no magical element in any of them. So there's like that one, and then there's Scarred, which is like Hamlet. Then there's Wretched, which is the Wizard of Oz.
would you expect this to be? What
Yellow.
color? Yellow, yeah. Do you know what color it is?
Black.
No. Green.
Why is it green?
I don't know. Like, I get the logic as to.
Why would they
Like
just not
an
make the
apple-
pen green?
I know. It's like an apple green, and I'm like, bro. They do this with their light purple, too. Their light purple is more of like a berry color, in my opinion, than like a lavender or a lilac.
That's weird.
I'm not the one that's in charge of these pens. I don't care. But it is mind-boggling at times.
But yes, I would tell people to start, if you're going to start with dark romance, to start with Emily McIntyre. I did not go that route. The first dark romance I attempted to read was The Sinner by Chantal Tessier, and then I DNF'd it, and then I picked it up almost exactly a year later after I'd read some other dark romance and loved it. But I would not start there. Okay? Don't do that. Don't.
I'm not planning on starting. So.
Yeah, if Amy ever tells me she's picking up a dark romance, I'm gonna have to go to her house and.
You're like, I gotta make sure that you are not being held captive. I mean, you never know. You never know.
I mean,
You could see Amy start getting into darker and darker stuff depending on how Amy's life goes.
yeah.
There are odder
Never
shifts that
know.
have happened.
Never know.
Holy shit! Why am I getting ink everywhere?
I stopped the season before COVID.
Yeah. It's gone on for so long. And I do appreciate that Grey's Anatomy is giving people jobs. Like, it's one of the last consistent shows that are filming and shooting in like the old style to some extent. However, I feel like when the titular character is no longer on the show, maybe it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, like call it like The New Class or something.
Yeah.
Make it a spin-off or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there is a point to having a set end point with shows. I tend to like shows that like are 7 to 8 seasons and they've got a clear, they have a clear vision for where they want the series to go.
Yeah.
So
this type of thing, I see 1-star reviews like this all the time on dark romance books, and I'm like, it's in the trigger warning, so why did you even read it if you don't like these things?
Yeah. I mean, if I missed it, I would just I wouldn't even read it. I'd just be like, oh.
I'd be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna actually put this down. It's fine. Like, you didn't even need to like talk about it. Maybe you and Ari, listen, we might do this. I'll be like, oh, you want to do a 24-hour sprint? We'll just run a timer of 24 hours. Atia finished her book, Night of the Storm, going to give it 3 stars. Next goal is to finish The Message. I have 76 pages, and it's a quick read. I know it's way too early for this. We're 3.5 hours in. I already can't speak. It's fine. Exactly. This is what I need. Like, I need you to stay a psychopath to everybody else the whole book. I understand if you get soft for her, it's fine. Bailey is the middle child. Yeah. I mean, I tell people to start from the beginning of the Emily McIntyre series because Crossed, I would arguably say at this point, because I've read all of them now except Twisted. Twisted's the only one I haven't read, and I've heard that it's not that dark. But Crossed, I would say, is probably the darkest one in the series, followed by Hexed. Because I don't know. I think it's going to depend on what is dark to you as to which one of those two is darker. Because Crossed has a lot of religious trauma in it. So, there's that.
Is that a Hunchback retelling?
Crossed is, yeah. Yep. across this. Hexed is The Little Mermaid.
Yep. Shit.
Grey's will always be my comfort show. I keep up with it out of habit and refuse to give up after all these years. Yeah, see, I just like stopped at the COVID. I think halfway through the first COVID season, and then I just rewatch. Also, I know everybody hates like the musical episode, but honestly, as like
I love
stupid
that
as
musical.
it is, like one of my favorite episodes. Like if I just want to watch an episode of Grey's, I watch that one.
Here's the thing. Like for me, to do a musical episode, you need to have a good concept for the musical episode or good reason. That's why the most perfect musical episode in existence is Once More with Feeling from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay? Most perfect thing to ever exist. I feel like they had a good concept and they executed it relatively well. And I like that they used songs that had been on the show, like were made famous by the show.
By the show, yeah.
So like it made sense. Yes, I know they're not all the best singers, but like that's not the point of a musical episode. And so I was cool with that. Like there have been shows that have had musical episodes, and I'm like, why?
And here's the thing,
Bones,
with Grey's, okay, yeah, Bones didn't really need a musical episode.
Did not.
But Grey's, in my opinion, because of the way that they did the musical episode, it was more authentic that they didn't have a bunch of like professional singers, because they could have had people lip syncing and then had voice track over the top,
and it worked for the concept that they had. Like it in my opinion. Here's the thing, the musical episode needs to add something to the plot of that episode. The musical piece needs to it added something to the plot of that episode, right?
Yeah, I love it. The Sinner is on my never ending TBR. Yeah, I do like that one. That one is a standalone. You can read those in any order, because actually the only two that I've read by her are that one and Sabotage, which I liked both. Sabotage wasn't as dark as I really wanted it to be, but like it was fine. I gave it 4 or 5 stars. I still have a vivid memory of watching the shooting season finale when it aired and crying the whole time. Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm just glad that I started watching Grey's after it had been on the air for like 10 years or 15 years, because I had a whole bunch of seasons that I could watch all at once. So some of these like season finales, while yes, I did watch them, obviously, I was able to go into the next episode.
Yep.
As opposed to like, because I would have lost my mind. I would have been thinking about it for what, 6 months to a year between like the shooting season finale and then the next season. I would have been like, but what happens next?
Hey, I had to live through the brain tumor season finale of Bones.
No. Well, okay, I lived through that too, actually.
Yeah, I did
had to live through that. I had to live through the pregnancy season finale.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Bones,
Live through Zach.
So Bones and House both were shows that I watched as they dropped because my mom watched them. So like we watched them with my mom. So I do remember like the traumatization of like having to wait with those shows.
It's funny. We started watching Bones because we regularly watched House.
Okay, Christina, be safe. I hope you don't lose your power.
I am actually having a lot of lightning here as well. So
here's Christina's reminders again. Also, here's the sprints playlist again if you need it. Jess has arisen from her nap.
Yes!
We're probably gonna do like a really short sprint. I'm not gonna lie. Unless y'all want to just talk for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, oh shit, my computer needs to be plugged in.
Why am I just not saying? Well, it's okay, Beth, because we're here for 24 hours. Just go follow the playlist and you'll go to everybody's thing. Didn't Angel have a musical episode? I think that show did, but I didn't really watch Angel, so I don't know.
I watched Buffy. I lost all I almost watched Angel because it had Spike in it. I'm a Spuffy girly. But then I learned that there's not even a single moment that Buffy is on, and I was like, nah. Oh God, Okay, so Ash, I have in all of my I missed that episode when I was watching it. Fully missed that episode. Because I didn't I went in, I stopped watching for a little bit just because I couldn't. It was harder. And then by the time I got back into watching it, it was either the second to last or the last season. I was like, I'm just gonna watch. I know these characters. I'm just gonna watch and all of that.
Okay, so when that I still see it in my memory, my Facebook memories, because when that happened to Sweets, I was like, Bones, did you seriously? And one of my friends was like, yup, they did. I've never been so that's not even true, because Zach, I was devastated.
Zach happened the second.
Third.
Zach, that episode was the first episode that I watched all the way through. Because Wannabe in the Weeds was the last episode, or we saw the very ending of Wannabe in the Weeds.
Okay.
And I went, oh, I need to continue watching this. I love the relationship between these two people as she's trying to keep him from bleeding out. My friend was like, how can you just start? I was like, that 10 seconds told me everything I needed to know about those two. I knew everything that I needed to know about their relationship.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, that crazy chick really strengthened everything that they had. It was great.
It still took them 3 more seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That show was very dramatic.
It was, and it was right at it was still in that period where they shows would delay and delay and delay the romantic leads getting together because they were worried about the moonlighting curse. I feel like we have gotten away from that as a society.
Yeah.
Thankfully. But
I mean, I get it though, because I didn't watch Moonlighting when it was on, obviously, but
yeah.
I watched Moonlighting and I'm like, it really does go downhill when they get together.
Well, it's part of this idea that we sell marriage as the end. I had another thing of coconut milk. Why did I get more? Anyways, we sell marriage as the ending of the story rather than trying to make interesting. I think one of the good things that Bones did is they figured out ways to make there be conflict that wasn't necessarily internal conflict between Booth and Bones, right?
Right. Yeah.
There were situations that arose that caused internal conflict.
Yes.
But that didn't that wasn't their go-to, right?
Yep.
And I think that it arose in the exact right time for that story to go the way it needed to go.
Yeah. I agree. I also love Rizzoli and Isles, so I saw that.
He was really sweet. He was really sweet the first 3 seasons. I fully understand why he was able to be manipulated to some extent. But I also I have some experience, obviously, with being manipulated as a child by cult-like ideas, yada yada yada. He was really sweet, and he was a really engaging and interesting character. And I feel like he was a good he was one end of a spectrum that they were portraying in the Jeffersonian. Right?
Yeah.
And they do some really interesting stuff with him in later seasons.
Yeah.
So.
Amy, what are you working on?
It's a pearl bead.
Oh, nice.
It's Mickey Mouse. Yo.
I can tell.
I did.
When I went to California last year, it was so funny because our Airbnb, I walked in and there's this big, not obvious Mickey painting, but a painting that had Mickey ears. And I remember turning it around and going, I can't escape him. He's following me.
Well, I went to Joanne Fabric and like just whatever, and I was like, I need something to do that's really relaxing, that doesn't take up a ton of room. Like diamond painting is really relaxing, but like I spread out when I'm diamond painting, and I was like,
this is why I like embroidery.
You know, so I was like, okay. And it's kind of fun. So yeah. And then I get my, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I can't hang these up all over the place, but it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I've low-key considered just, I mean, that's not something I don't know that you'd want, but you might be able to, like, see about donating it to, like, a hospital to help decorate kids' rooms.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Ask them, because hospitals usually have specific things that they will accept. Shit, I didn't need the books. I needed the Dungeons and Dragons shit. Okay. Anyways. I put stickers in with my the bookmarks when I send them out. This is something fun and nice. And then I'm also putting my official bookmarks in this time too.
Nice.
So you're getting a 2 for if you order a bookmark.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
I should really read at some point during these sprints.
You should, especially since you need to read Painted Devils.
It's funny because it's not me being.
Here's the thing: if I hadn't read it all today, I'd be more like mad at myself for it. But like I knew that by 6 p.m. I wasn't going to want to read.
Jess, I'm pretty sure this is you, right? I'm not going to say your full government name out loud, but I'm like, this looks like a familiar name. I know who that is. Oh. Anyways.
I mean, chatting is fun, but I'm saying like during the sprints, because I actually haven't read during a sprint yet.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you might as well just chat for the next 10-ish minutes, and then we'll.
Yeah, I mean, but like what I'm saying is like overall in sprints, but I'm thinking that probably I'm not going to be in a mood to read until I've slept for a little while and then gotten back up.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point I will
help.
Do I need what?
Will peer pressure help?
Doubtful. Okay, peer pressure won't help tonight. It might in the morning. If I'm like still not wanting to read in the morning, then yeah. But my reading is like very regimented anyway, because I really only have time to like read. Like when it comes to content creation, the reading part of it is like, I don't want to say the least amount, but like it is. Like it's the least amount of hours in a day.
Yeah.
Because so the kids go to school in the morning, and then I get up for my day around 10 a.m., right? Like I get up with Ari, get her to the school bus and all that stuff. But then like I usually lay back down for a couple of hours after the kids go to school.
Word.
So then I get back up around 10, and then from like 10 until 5, so dinner time, is when like my reading time commences. And then after that, it's basically time for me to either do other content creation tasks, if I still have any to do, or to like watch TV. So like I know that it's just my brain being like, ma'am, this is not a reading time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not that I like won't read again. I will. I did read earlier today, but speaking of reading, do you know whenever you want? So I moved North as the Night to April. The only week that is not going to work very well for me, Christina, is the very last full week of April, and that's because I am reading Gothicana with Rainy. So, and that was really like the only week that worked super well for her. So that week is being blocked out specifically for that buddy read because it's gonna take us 5 days. The way that I broke the book down. But any other time will work because the only other buddy read I have two, but the only two other buddy reads I know I have is Siege and Storm with Tennille, but that I have an audiobook for. And then Brittany and I are doing a buddy read, but I'm pretty sure, yes, we're doing a hockey romance buddy read, Unsteady, I think it is. And I have audiobook for that as well. I don't have an audiobook for North is the Night. So North is the Night and Gothicana are my two buddy reads for April that I'm reading either physically or on my Kindle. So you let me know when it works for you. I am Ash. It will be coming to a KU cleanout vlog very soon. The next KU cleanout vlog that I have will have this book in it. I've read one chapter and I'm intrigued. I'm thinking about switching to the audiobook. But like the first chapter read really fast, so I don't foresee it like being a hard read if I choose to continue reading it on the Kindle. But yes, I am reading it. I started it today. I started this morning. I just got the audio for it. Okay, well, you let me know when you want to read it, and then I can break it down for myself to read it on my Kindle, and that's totally fine.
Tristan.
Okay.
If I said the name Annie Wilkes, do you know who that is?
That name is familiar.
It sounds familiar.
Book character. That was turned into a movie starring Kathy Bates as Annie Wilkes.
Why do I know this name?
Book written by Stephen King.
Okay, I don't know this name. I've heard it probably in reading his book, I guess.
You probably have, because once they said what book it was, I actually did recognize it, but it's Misery.
Yep. That's why I recognize the name, because I read his book on writing.
Okay.
And he talks a lot about misery.
Okay. So I like to go to trivia with some of my friends, and on Tuesday we were at trivia, and I'm the book person, right? So which books, the category was book to movie, and it said Annie Wilkes is a character in what famous book to movie. And I had no idea. And I'm sitting there like, and they're all like getting mad at me because I don't know it. Not like really, because they're not assholes, but they're sitting there like, why don't you know this? Why don't you know this? And then they said it was Misery. And I was like, that's why I don't know it. I don't read Stephen King. And the DJ is DJ Trivia. And the DJ came over by me and he was like, were you the one that was dissing Stephen King? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, you said you don't read him. And I was like, I don't, but I love people that do. So I
don't read his books, but like that doesn't mean I have anything against him.
See, people knew it was Misery. I did not. I was a horrible person. And then the DJ was like, oh, okay. And then he sat and talked to me for like 20 minutes about all these books that I will never read. And I was like, I love this for you, man, but these are not books I'm interested in.
Like, these are not the books I read, sir.
Like, I'm not a horror. You're not a horror girly. That's what you've got to say.
Yeah.
Right? Like, sorry, not my genre.
Yeah. But I was like,
my genre, and I'm not sure I'm going to read him.
Because I know that I've done that to people. So, like, they give me a lot of, like, Leniency and grace. I should probably do that for this guy. Just like, but I was a little scared at first when he came up to me, and I was like he's not like an unfamiliar person to me, but it was just like I'd never seen that like side of him before, and I was like, why are you coming at me? But it was fine. I was never in any danger.
Calm down, bro.
Christina, this works great. So I will make sure to make a graphic on Monday, and then that's what I will spend my Monday sprints reading is North is the Night. Sounds great.
I want to keep that one.
Huh?
So I want to keep that one. This sticker says, "Do not meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and taste good with ketchup."
That is awesome.
Yep.
Just that is such a dude thing to do, Amy.
Yell at me for not reading Stephen King.
I mean, it feels like it. He probably thinks that sometimes the way men flirt.
He was talking about Dean Koontz, and I was like, I've never had any desire to read Dean Koontz, and he's like talking about Dean Koontz with the most passion I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, maybe I should give this guy a shot.
Jess, what's your favorite color?
Dean Koontz is not for you.
You know, I don't think he is.
No, I know he's not. I've read Dean Koontz, and he is not for you, Amy. Absolutely not.
Jesus, yes, I know. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Jesse's yelling at me for things I know.
Okay.
Also, Jess said she had that as a bumper sticker on her last car.
That feels like something that Jess would have as a bumper sticker on her last car. I also have one that says chaotic stupid, and I kind of love it.
Chaotic stupid. I'm going to start
chaotic
using
stupid.
Yeah, rain.
So what are you doing? Just packaging them up to be like ready to go, or what?
Yeah, I'm packaging them all up, and then I'll put postage on them.
As they're ordered.
Oh no, these are orders. These are I need to take out the pre-order part. That I let people pre-order the bookmarks because I wanted them to be able to order them.
Got you. Okay.
Right? So,
Can I help you?
it was one of those things I was like, I'll just put that so that there's, because here's the thing I would say, keep an eye out, it'll be up, then people will forget. But if it's like, hey, you can order this, you're good to go. So, and it's nice to be able to ship them a couple days early.
Yeah.
Hello, Kristen. We're about to head over to who's next? Jess. We're about to head over to Jess's channel here in a few minutes. Amy, do you like time travel books?
A little.
Amy reads a lot of middle grade.
I read a lot of middle grade, and I did read a time travel middle grade this month that was quite fabulous. I don't know how I feel about, adult time travel. Although okay, that's a lie. I like a lot of time travel. I really do. I think it's a fascinating, concept.
I feel like time travel is an interesting concept, especially when it's one that it can be really easy to do it well, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things that you can do with a time travel story that there's not a lot of ways to do it wrong.
Yeah.
Now, I could probably have put my real name on this one because I know the person it's going to, but I'm going to put wordy nerdy things anyways. I figured, like, you're getting my address. I'm not going to give you my first and last name too.
No, I'm not teleporting you. I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so I cannot teleport you. But you can follow the playlist and it'll take you to the next stream. That's why I make the playlist, because you can just, like, if you go into the playlist, you click my stream that's going right now, then when Jess starts hers, it will just kick you over there. I hope everyone feels better.
Uh-oh.
Kristen has new meds, so feeling hungover from side effects. No problem. No, it's 1,000 to teleport. So once I become part of the 1,000 Friends Club, then I will teleport. Honestly, you'll probably get so sick of how much I use the teleportation thing, because I'll just be teleporting you everywhere.
I mean, it's kind of limited because you have to teleport to a specific video.
Right.
Like, and it has to be either a premiere or a live.
Right.
So it's a little annoying, but like, whatever.
But it will work for things like 24-hour sprints.
Yeah.
If everybody can teleport. So.
Yep.
Quite rude that people haven't gotten our girl to 1K. I mean, I'm saying Atia, but
I
let it self
will be honest, I thought you were already there. I was a little surprised by that information.
No, I'm at 966, I think.
I'm at 985.
I'm at 963.
Nice.
Atia is yelling at y'all. So if you're here and you're not subscribed,
Get
You know
on
what?
it.
the playlist. Okay, Gigi, you can always find. Here's all the places you can always find the playlist. So Christina did share it a couple of times in this chat. But you can always find it for the duration of 24 hours. It will be in my community tab on YouTube, and there will also be a link in my stories on Instagram. Those are the two easiest places for me to share them. I also, if you're part of my Discord server, they also are shared in there under the 24-hour sprints announcements channel. So those are all the places you can find it.
Nice.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm sending Jess 2 of my favorite stickers because I know who this is going to.
37 subs away from 1,000. So let's go. I feel like we'll get there by the end of 2025.
That's my goal for mine. And also my goal for you, Neva.
Planning on staying up through Jess's sprints. I don't know that I'll get all of the way just because I actually have to be functional for work in the morning.
That's fair.
Unfortunate for me, but you know.
Okay, so we only have a few minutes left. So do y'all have anything you want to promote before we leave?
If you haven't checked out Fabelin coming in April, check it out. We have cool bookmarks.
Amy, you have anything you want to promote?
I have to edit it. I'm hoping this weekend I'm going to have my, it's a little late, but my Gala of Peace for Realmathon.
Nice.
Like wrap up.
Oh, and me, it was going to go up today, but then I remembered that we had 24-hour sprint, so it didn't make sense for me to post it today. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my computer is being real weird. Okay, it's fine. What was I saying? Oh, it was gonna go up today, but my Empyrean vlog that I did with Brittany, because she get hers up before me? She absolutely did. But mine will be going up on Sunday. Unless I can get it, if I can get it done, like it's almost done being I need to just make like the thumbnail and just run through it one more time to make sure that it's edited correctly. If I can find the strength to do that tomorrow, then I will post it tomorrow, because I won't have actually anything on my channel tomorrow. But I was going to put it up today, but then it didn't make sense to do two, like that and a stream. You know what I mean? So the latest will be Sunday. It will be up before my sprints Monday morning for y'all. So you can watch that and see if I liked the Empyrean or not.
Music on so I can listen to calming songs so I can go to sleep.
We'll see. But we are going to go over to Jesse's channel now. So if I can remember to actually end the stream and not just leave it. So thank you all for hanging out with us. And we'll see you over there. Goodbye.
Bye.